On MCL News this morning, federal government will deploy 254 senior officials. Senate begins agencies major. ASU speaks. Splinter Union emerges. NDDC board will arrest APC youths, salute President Buhari over Abraham Aminu. Olympic qualifier, Falcons, female elephants, its leaders. Good morning, welcome to MCL News. I am Ezinu. We sincerely apologize for coming behind schedule. Now the news and details. The federal government has approved mass redeployment of senior government officials across ministries, departments, and agencies in a move aimed at repositioning the civil service for efficient service delivery. A total of 254 top government officials from salary grade levels 15 to 17 is affected in the exercise. In the federal civil service, workers on the SGL 17 are directors, those on the SGL 16 are deputy directors, while those on the SGL 15 are assistant directors. According to a circular dated October 4th, conveying the mass deployment and cited by newsmen on Sunday, 74 directors, 85 deputy directors, and 95 assistant directors are affected in the exercise. The circular is signed by the director overseeing the office of the permanent secretary, AI Atta, on behalf of the acting head of the civil service of the Federation, Dr. Fola Shade Yeniyesan. Atta indicated that those affected included newly promoted and existing directorate level officers under the pool of the office of the head of the civil service of the Federation. She directed that all handover and takeover processes should be completed latest by Friday. She warned that any of the officers who disregard the deployment order will be sanctioned in line with relevant civil service rule. Atta wrote that she is directed to convey the approval of the acting head of the civil service of the Federation for the deployment of the newly promoted and existing the SGL 15 to 17 directorate level officers under the pool of the office of the head of the civil service of the Federation as attached. The posting instructions should be downloaded at www.ohcsf.gov.ng. Hard copies submitted by officers for documentation should be verified with the one on the website. Atta stated that all handover and takeover processes should be completed on or before Friday, October 11, 2019. Any disregard of this deployment shall be treated in accordance with provisions of PSR 030301B, she said. The Federal Executive Council, FEC, will now meet today, October the 7th, to put finishing touches on the 2020 budget that will be presented to the National Assembly on Tuesday. In a statement signed by Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the meeting, which was earlier scheduled for today, will have to wait till The meeting, which was earlier scheduled, will have to wait till 12 noon today, although no specific reason is given for the postponement. The federal government says it is determined to ensure the budget is concluded and passed for implementation from January next year. The meeting is expected to be chaired by President Muhammadu Buhari. A new academic labor union in Nigerian university system has been formed with the name Congress of University Academics, CONUA. The new group has members drawn from Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, Federal University, Oyo Ekiti, Federal University Lokoja and Kwara State University Molete as members. The union, formed by aggrieved members of the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASU, claims that ASU had lost track of the main objective of the union. National coordinator of the union, Willie Ishmael, told journalists at the end of their first national stakeholder forum at the Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, Ile-Ife, Osun State, that the union is formed to formulate new approach of engagement in addressing the welfare of members. It is also aimed at putting an end to the unnecessary wasting of students' academic time as a result of frequent strike action. Mini said the union is putting necessary documentation in place for official recognition by the university management and the government. Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ndige, in a telephone conversation with newsmen in Abuja on Sunday, said he is aware of the union but confirmed that it is yet to be registered. He said that the union submitted the application for registration last April. A committee has been set up by the ministry to look into their request. ASU President Professor Barodun Oguyemi confirmed knowledge of the union and linked it to some members who are sanctioned by ASU for working against the interest of the union. In addition to that, they have realized that some vice chancellors, specifically that of federal universities Lokoja and Oyekiti, have vowed to destabilize the union by instigating rebellion against ASU. Oguyemi said that they have tried all they can in the past to thwart their efforts to have a world-class university community in Nigeria, but they now work through some members of the union, but they will fail. The Ministry of Labour and Employment has confirmed receipts of an application for the registration of a new university union, Congress of University Academies (CONUA), to be formed out of the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU). The minister, Chris Ngiri, in a telephone interview on Sunday, says that the ministry had in April received the application from CONUA to be registered as a new union in the university. He told newsmen that the application is awaiting deliberation as stipulated by trade union laws. According to him, a committee will be set up to define modalities before it will be approved, and they have not been registered yet. The application is in the ministry and it has not been treated. They are still looking at the application. He asked the committee to look into it. When they look at the committee's report, they will know what to do. They submitted it even before he left office initially. They submitted the application in April, he added. On whether CONUA will not duplicate the functions of ASU, Ngige said that it will be the duty of the committee set up on the matter to review. The national coordinator of CONUA, Mili Ismail, says he is aware of the union. The president of Trade Union Congress, Quadri Olalaye, says organized labor will not go on a running strike before the main industrial action if government fails to meet workers' demand on the implementation of the new minimum wage by the close of work on Wednesday, October 16, 2019. In a communique issued at the end of the meeting of leaders of labor unions on Tuesday in Abuja, organized labor said it will not guarantee industrial peace in Nigeria if the federal government failed to hold a meeting with labor and accept its demand on the consequential salary adjustments arising from the new minimum wage. Labor say it has demonstrated a great deal of restraint, consideration and patience with government in arriving at the demand of 29% salary increase for officers on salary levels 7 to 14 and 24% adjustment for officers on salary grade levels 15 to 17. The communique says the alleged nonchalant attitude of the government negotiating side negotiations for consequential wages adjustment unduly, adding that Nigerian workers has exercised tremendous patience and restraint already. In an interview with newsmen over the weekend, the TUC president said that Labour has begun to mobilize its members for industrial action before the Tuesday ultimatum issued to government. He said that they began mobilization of their members for an industrial action long before they made the pronouncement. He added that they have given instruction on mobilization to their members in the states and all the council areas. If by October 16th, the government fails to do what they expect from it, stating that they will start their action with a rally on the second day, October 17th, the strike will begin. The coalition All Progressives Congress (APC) youth leaders in the West local government area of other states has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for nominating Wogo into the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), saying that the reappointment is based on merit. The youth described as frivolous and baseless the issues raised against Wogo's renomination by Donatus Wamba, a functional chairman of the APC in the state. Claiming that Wamba was rejected for the post by the Senate of the Gwanga, he is not from the oil-producing area of the state. The youths, after an enlarged meeting over the weekend, said that they will not tolerate any further steps from Wamba to cause confusion in other states. In a statement by the chairman, Obinna Ezere, the youth urged President Buhari and the national leadership of the APC to ignore Wamba, adding that the renomination of Wogo is the collective decision of the people of Asaland and other APC. In another development, a chieftain of APC in Upper West, Engineer Owabachin was said Wogo's renomination is a step in the right direction, given his pedigree in other APC and support for President Buhari. Wogo is a true APC man and worked tirelessly to ensure the return of President Buhari in 2019. Some of them joined the party because of the passion and commitment that Wogo exhibited towards the welfare and progress of the party and ASA in general. He added that Wogo brought APC in Upper West, a member of the ANPP, and has followed and supported the president up to this moment. The federal government, supported by the World Health Organization and other partners, have immunized over 51 million children during the annual national immunization campaigns. According to the WHO, the intervention conducted in phases from July 30th to August 30th, 2019, reached 51,151,924 eligible children across 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The campaign is integrated with bivalent oral polio vaccine and fractional inactivated polio vaccine. While 0 to 59 million children receive BOPV only in selected local government areas of 15 states, namely Bauchi, Borno, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kwara, Lagos, Niger, Ogun, Osun, Oyo, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara. A total of 12,020,045 children were given both FLPV and BOPV. Speaking of the outcome of the national campaign, the WHO Nigerian immunization leader Dr. Fiona Braka says that the essence of the campaign is to ensure eligible children are protected from vaccine-preventable diseases. She added that Nigeria is edging closer of being certified wild polio-free, WPV-free, and they will not relent in ensuring all children are fully protected, not just against polio, but other vaccine-preventable diseases too. Still to come on the news, Nigeria, Namibia to discuss bilateral multilateral matters. Macron, EU-Brazil deal decision at end of the week. Details after the break. The status.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say what do man go do for this world where people no go talk. If you talk,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no talk, then go talk. What do you make me do for this world? I say make we go do the things where we carry for heart. Na so one time. I be not been so.
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCLtv.
going to be connecting with our Omaha studios. Riyad Chiseke is standing by to give us news making rounds from the capital city. Good morning, Chiseke.
Good morning, lovely Monday to you. Welcome to Omaha. I am Chiseke. Residents of Omaha have joined the global community to mark the 2019 World Teachers Day. They call for better policies and programs to encourage young talents to venture into the teaching profession. Precious Izibu tells us more.
In time past, teaching was seen as a noble profession and held in high esteem because of the role teachers play in molding and instilling discipline in their students. This they did without recourse to financial benefits, which can account for the popular saying that the reward of a teacher is in heaven. Today, the reverse is the case in the teaching profession. The regard and respect for teachers seem to be waning over the years. Such factors as non or irregular payment of salaries, poor remuneration, lack of incentives, lack of practical training, and retraining of teachers, among others, can be said to be responsible for this nosedive. These factors have become the clog in wheel, raising concerns about the survival of the teaching profession beyond the present generation. This is perhaps the reason behind the theme of this year's World Teachers Day, which is Young Teachers, the Future of the Profession. It is, however, disheartening that young talents in Nigeria do not fancy the idea of venturing into the teaching profession except as an alternative choice due to unemployment. This view was also expressed by respondents in Omaha who believe that this factor may be the death of the teaching profession.
They are not being paid the way they ought to be paid. For several months, they have been owned. And it ought not to be so, because teachers are supposed to be given our first place. Because whatever an individual becomes in life is all about the work of teachers. But still, they are being undermined.
Most of our teachers are living in tenure. They are not work there. They cannot even train their children. While others that do other jobs, you can see them doing very well in their own endeavors. That if you look at the dwindling down of the teachers these days, you can actually see another triangle. And many people that don't want to be a teacher.
The respondents also said that the factors enumerated must be addressed in order for the teaching profession to take its pride of place.
No matter whatever you do, no matter what you are now, without the school, that person to your discipline cannot be done. So I will see that. Let them please, I am telling them to look their eye down and see to the welfare of this country.
And let the government of this country wake up to the needs of teachers. And a hungry man is an angry man. So by the time you are hungry, your senses and reason may not even be in order because you are already disturbed.
You can't give what you don't have. Even when you have it and you are not prepared to give it at your best, definitely will be losing things. So teachers should be motivated.
It should also be noted that teachers have their roles to play in ensuring the survival of the profession. Teachers' nonchalant attitude and complacency towards their duties must be eschewed to achieve the desired height in the teaching profession. The World Teachers Day, observed on 5th October each year, provides an avenue to celebrate the teaching profession worldwide, to take stock of achievements and address some of the issues central for attracting and keeping the brightest minds and young talents in the profession. Precious Izibu, MCL News.
Following the process of environmental sanitation management within the Omaha and Aba metropolis, the government recently declared a state of emergency on waste management in the state. To give way to this declaration, action plans were created. These actions which include ensuring immediate clearance and evacuation of refuse at various dump sites across Omaha and Aba is now yielding a positive outlook. MCLtv drove through the town to assess the level of effectiveness of this latest government action. Titachi Chukwuaja, following this report.
As part of the emergency action,
The board of the Abia State Environmental Protection Agency was immediately dissolved to give way to management team comprising of the secretary to the state government, Chris Ezem, and the commissioner designate, Ahamuko, as members. The governor provided over 17 garbage compactor trucks to the team, urging them to rid the state of debt. As the days go by and with keen observation, the management of refuse is wearing a new look in Umuahia. Examples include Isi Gate, Umuahia Road and Locos Olokoro Road. The above mentioned areas before now posed worrisome sights. According to the residents, the area before now required an action as what is obtained now.
Government has done and this was because of rules and issues is not good. Because maybe outside people that come into our state and do other things, they start saying that the other state or other state can better do this. Because we know that the government of people always come under and government if there was no adjustment, there would be only adjustment. So for Umuahia to be neat, what he did is right to see that there is an adjustment depending on our refuge.
The team of Chris Ezem and Ahamuko on inauguration promised to hit the ground running to help assuage the very foul impression of poor refuse management.
And so in response to what the governor has said, that is why we have to commence almost immediately, because the state of emergency requires an immediate reaction, and that is why we started reacting, immediately. The issue is not about just clearing the receptacle, but how do we, on a sustainable basis, ensure that the environment is clean? There has to be massive reorientation of the people to the fact that we have to learn to back our regions. And then people should also endeavor to keep the immediate environments clean and use designated, receptacle points. We need to increase the level of frequency, with which these things are removed. And those that contradict, there has to be some level of reprimand, punishment.
If the temple already created is maintained, residents and business owners within the Umuahia and Aba metropolis will heave a sigh of relief as part of good governance at work. Nchetachi Chukwaja, MCL News.
The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has asked the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Justice Tanko Mohammed, to immediately stop the use of the court to suppress citizens' rights by the federal and state governments. So I've made a request in an open letter to the Chief Justice and signed by his Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadari. The group asked Justice Mohammed and the National Judicial Council to develop measures and issue directives to all courts to respond to the disturbing trend. The organization also copied United Nations Special Rapporteur on the independence of judges and lawyers, Diego Garcia Serrano. It said if the practice by state governments and federal governments is allowed to continue, the courts will be relegated to obsolescence and lead to arbitrary and unrestricted power. The social rights group urged the judiciary to resist arbitrary charges, refusal of bail, and granting of bail on stringent conditions. Members of the Bring Back Our Girls group are marking 2,000 days since the abduction of over 200 girls by the Boko Haram terrorist group in Chibok communities. The group is demanding the release of the remaining girls still held in captivity of the terrorist group. They also asked the federal government to make schools in the northeast safe. In a statement, the group questioned the federal government's effort in the fight against Boko Haram and the increased rate of kidnappings in the country. It urged President Muhammadu Buhari and the federal government to live up to their responsibility in the protection of the lives and property of its citizens. And that's much content from Umuahia at this time. We take you straight back to our studios in Aba where Easily Wafo is what we do as a bulletin. Thanks for watching. I'm Trixie.
Thank you so much, Chicks AK. And on sports, reigning African champions, Nigerian Super Falcons and the female elephants of Ivory Coast arrived in Lagos for the return leg of their third-round Africa qualifier for the 2020 Olympic women's football event scheduled for the Agege Stadium in Lagos. Both sides played out a barren draw in their first leg encounter as they passed the sports the Trekville in Abidjan, the capital of Ivory Coast, on Thursday. The Super Falcons have featured at the Olympics 7 times, a record African team, and remains the only African side to have qualified for all editions of the World Cup. Should they qualify for next year's Olympics holding in Tokyo, Japan, it will be Nigeria's 8th appearance in the women's football event at the Olympics. And with that news, we've come to the end of the news package this morning, but before we go, a look at our major stories. The federal government has approved mass redeployment of senior government officials across ministries, departments and agencies in a move aimed at repositioning the civil service for efficient service delivery. A new academic labor union in Nigerian university system has been formed with the name Congress of University Academics, CONUA. A coalition of All Progressives Congress, APC, youth leaders in Okwa West Local Council of Ado State has commended President Muhammad Buhari for nominating Wogu into the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. And in sports, reigning African champions Nigerian Super Falcons and the female elephants of Ivory Coast arrived Lagos for the return leg of their third-round Africa qualifier for the 2020 Olympic Women's Football event scheduled for the Agege Stadium in Lagos. That was the news. Thanks for watching. Please do join us again by 8 a.m. for Good Morning Abia. I am Ezine Wanfo. Do have a lovely day.